So morning we are discussing the difference between a watt governor and Porter governor. Just by seeing these two figures, we observe only the difference is between these two is only in watt governor we don't have any central load, whereas in the Porter governor we are having the central load. That is only the difference. Remaining are same to same. There is no difference between watt governor and Porter governor. Only the difference between these two is central load is acting in the Porter governor, whereas there is no central load is acting on the watt governor. Now let us derive the relationship between the height and speed of a Porter governor. Okay, this we can done by two methods. One is the force method, resolving the forces, and second one is the instantaneous center method. Okay. Okay, we can resolve the Porter governor means we are going to find out the relationship between the speed and height of a governor by two methods. One is the resolution of the forces, and second one is the instantaneous center method. Okay, this is the port. Yeah, see the Porter governor here. So you are having O, B, A, C, and D. So OD, CD, AB, and OB are the four arms you can see. You can see that again I'm repeating. OB, AB, CD, and OM are the four arms. Angle alpha is the angle made by the arm with respect to the spindle axis. Alpha is the angle made by the arm with respect to the spindle axis. Similarly, beta is the angle made with respect to this arm. Beta is the angle made with respect to the arm, and M is the central load acting on the Porter governor or on the sleeve. This M is the central load, capital M. You can see this is the capital M, which is the central load which is acting on the Porter governor, and small m is the mass of the each ball. You can see the difference between small m and capital M. Small m refers to the mass of each ball, and capital M is representing the central load acting on the sleeve. So now, if you see this right hand portion, the same diagram I have drawn here. This is the ball B, whose centrifugal force is acting towards the right side. Fc is equal to mr omega square. Okay, and small r is the radius of rotation. H is the height of a governor. Angle alpha is the angle made with respect to the central axis and this arm. Now come here with respect to the ball. Mgr, W is the weight of the ball which is acting downwards. Angle beta is the angle made with respect to this lower arm, and smaller is the radius of rotation. And if you consider, I'm considering only this portion. What is the load acting on only on this portion? Suppose if M is the total load acting on the central axis. M is the total load acting on the central axis. Means on point A, what is the load acting? Half of the central load. Similarly, on point C, half of the central load is being acted. So I'm considering only this right side portion. Therefore, what I'm writing here at point A, only half of the load is being acting. W is equals to mg by 2 I'm writing here. Similarly, with respect to C, half of the central load is being acted. So total left side half portion and right side the half of the load is being acted. Okay, this is about the diagram of this Porter governor, and T is the tension in the arms. You can find the tension in both upper arm and lower arms. This we are going to solve by using the instantaneous center method. Now I'm going to derive the Porter governor derivation with respect to the instantaneous center method. So derivation of the Porter governor, you can see all these parameters here. Same what you have seen here, the same I have drawn again here. Fc is the, so this represents the right side portion of the diagram. This figure represents the left side portion. We have to consider either left side or right side. Okay. T1, you can see here, method of resolution of forces and instantaneous center method. We can derive the relationship between speed and height of a governor by two methods. One is method of resolution of forces, and second one is the instantaneous center method. Now let us define all the parameters. H is the height of the governor in meters. N is the speed of the balls in RPM. Due to centrifugal force, the balls will move away. which is having the speed which will rotates with RPM, and omega is the angular velocity of the balls in radians per second. Fc is the centrifugal force acting on the balls in newtons. T1 is the tension in the upper arm. T2 is the tension in the lower arm. Angle alpha. Alpha is the angle of inclination of the arm or upper link to the vertical axis. Alpha is the angle of inclination of the arm to the vertical axis. Or I can say angle alpha is the angle made with respect to the arm on the central axis. Similarly, beta is the angle of inclination of this link. So where this link is being inclined, you can see here. This beta is the angle made by the arm, second link. Okay, right. Beta is the angle of inclination of the link. Now let us derive this equation. Yeah. So we are going to, you can see this total derivation I have done. In this method, equilibrium of the forces acting on the link BD are being considered. You can see the link BD, the second one link is the link BD. Okay. The equilibrium of forces acting on the link BD are being considered. The instantaneous center lies at point I. Just you are having only T1, T2, two are the two arms. So extend the T1. Similarly, extend point D towards the left hand side. These two will meet at one point. This point we call it as the instantaneous center. I will explain again. Extend the T1 line downwards. Similarly, from point P, you extend the line towards the T1 line. These two will meet at one point. This point we call as the instantaneous center. So now we are resolving this equation by using the instantaneous center method. Okay. So the instantaneous center lies at point I, and take the moments about the point I. You can see here, take the moments about point I. So if you take the moments about point I, what you can get? First force is the centrifugal force Fc. What is the perpendicular distance for the centrifugal force? This Fc is being multiplied by this Bm length. Okay, I'm writing Fc multiplied by the Bm. This if you see with respect to y, how it is moving? This is moving clockwise. Okay, I have taken one clockwise motion. Similarly, what are the remaining forces you can see here? Weight of the ball with respect to y. It is moving in anti-clockwise motion. Similarly, central load also moving in anti-clockwise motion. I will show you that with the help of the pointer. So with respect to this I, this Fc is moving in clockwise motion. Similarly, this weight with respect to this moves in anti-clockwise motion, and this moves in clockwise motion. Similarly, this load double half of the central load also moving in clockwise motions. So one anti-clockwise motion and remaining two are the clockwise motions. So anti-clockwise motion Fc into Bm. I have written here Fc into Bm, which is equals to weight of the ball W. What is the perpendicular distance for this one? Weight of the ball with respect to I. Im is the perpendicular distance. You can see here. Weight of the ball W multiplied by this Im. So this weight of the ball W multiplied the distance is Im. Plus one more load is half of the central load, which is written as W by 2. What is this perpendicular distance for W by 2? ID is the perpendicular distance. This is the equation you are getting. Fc into Bm equals to W into Im plus W by 2 into ID. So what is W? You can write W, you can write it as M into D into Im plus capital W, capital Mg by 2. You can see the difference between small m and capital M. Small m is for the mass of the ball and capital M is for the central load acting on the sleeve. That's why I written Mg by 2. Only half of the load is acting into ID. Next, what we can do? Multiply this total equation by Bm. Get this Bm downwards. Mg into Im by Bm plus Mg by 2 into ID by Bm. You can see here, Mg into Im by Bm plus Mg by 2. Now, what is this ID? You can see this ID. This ID is the sum of Im plus M into D. How you can get ID? ID is the sum of Im plus M into D. So, if you resolve this equation again, which is equal to Mg plus Mg into Im by Bm plus Mg by 2 into Im by Bm plus Md by Bm. Now, we can see what is Im by Bm term. So, this is Im by Bm. What you can get? You can get Im by Bm, tan alpha you can get. Similarly, Md by Bm you can see. This is Md by Bm. What you can get? Tan beta. Im by Bm we are getting tan alpha and Md by Bm. This Md by Bm we are getting tan beta. I am writing in place of Im by Bm, tan alpha I am writing, Md by Bm I am writing tan beta. Now you can see the equation comes as Mg into tan alpha plus Mg by 2 into tan alpha plus tan beta. Now divide the total equation by tan alpha. We can get Fc by tan alpha, which is equals to Mg plus Mg by 2 into 1 plus tan beta by tan alpha. Okay. And take the term tan beta by tan alpha, which is equals to Q, you can take it as. And on simplification, I'm writing it as Mg plus Mg by 2 into 1 plus Q. Now we know that centrifugal force, what is Fc? Fc is nothing but mr omega square. And what is tan alpha? You can see here. Tan alpha is nothing but from this equation, R by H. From this tan alpha, you can see the triangle B, P, and let us take this as some point. So I'm take this as some X. Okay. Now let us consider the triangle B, P, and X. Consider the triangle B, P, and X. Now Bx by Xp is nothing but R by H, which is equals to tan alpha. That is what I have written here. Tan alpha is equals to R by H. Substitute everything. In place of Fc, I am writing it as mr omega square by tan alpha. Tan alpha is R by H. What is 1 by tan alpha? H by R, which is equals to Mg plus capital Mg by 2 into 1 plus Q. So now getting H on the left hand side, remaining terms on the right hand side. Keep H as it is here. This R and R will go away. So from this equation, what will happen? This R and this R will cancel, and we are getting only m omega square into H. H I am taking outside and keeping equation as it is. Mg plus Mg by 2 into 1 plus Q by M into 1 by omega square. So I'm solving this. I'm getting it as M plus M by 2 into 1 plus Q, taking G outside, G by omega square by M. Now, when tan alpha is equals to tan beta, means Q is equals to 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. These two will go away. And finally, we are getting H is equals to M plus M by M into G by omega square. So this is the relationship between the height and speed of a watt governor. Sorry, height and speed of a Porter governor. This is the relationship between height and speed of a Porter governor. Okay, let me do this again. I solve this again. Okay, we'll do this derivation. You can see this is a Porter governor. We are going to find out the relationship between the height and speed of a Porter governor. So this is we are solving by using instantaneous center method. Okay, how is this I is instantaneous center? How we are getting this I? Extend this D1 line downwards as this. Similarly, extend this D line left side. These two lines will meet at one point. This point we call it the instantaneous center. This H is the height of the governor and R is the radius of rotation. This is the ball acting. On the ball on the left side we are having the centrifugal force F and small w is the weight of the ball which is acting downwards. Similarly on the sleeve we are having the total load acting on the sleeve. But we are considering only one portion of the sleeve. That is left side portion of the sleeve means only half of the load is being acting. That's why I'm writing it as W by 2 at point which is acting. Okay. So now how to solve this one? Take the moments about point I. So the first step we have to do is take moments about instantaneous center I. So with respect to I, what are the moments I'm getting is Fc multiplied by this Bm. First equation I'm having. How these are just fine. Let me write the equations. Centrifugal force Fc into Bm, one moment I'm having, and one more moment is this weight of the ball, and perpendicular distance is Im. Weight of the ball multiplied with distance Im. And one more is W by 2, half of the centrifugal load, half of the central load multiplied by the distance ID. I'm writing it as capital W into ID. This is small w and this is the capital W. Okay, you can see the difference between small and capital. Now we have to see plus symbols we have to give plus or minus. How this is FC is moving with respect to this I. If I am rotating like this, it tries to move in anti-clockwise motion. Now what about this W, how it is moving? It tries to move with respect to I in clockwise motion. Similarly, this W by 2 is also moving in clockwise and these two are in anti-clockwise. So that's why I'm writing if seen equals to I can keep and one in clockwise, two clockwise on one side and one anti-clockwise on the other side. This is the equation I am getting Fc into Bm, which is equal to W into Im plus W by 2 into Id. Now I can solve this as this. Keep Fc into Bm here. W I can write it as mg into Im plus capital W. I'm writing it as capital M. Mg by 2 into Id. Now get this Bm downwards. Right hand side. Fc is equal to mg into Im by Bm plus mg by 2 into Id by Bm. Now what is this Id? Id is nothing but combination of Im plus Md. I can show here. Id is equals to Im plus Md. The same I'm substituting here. Fc is equals to mg into Im by Bm plus mg by 2. This is capital M only. This is also capital M plus this small m again. So this mg by 2 capital M plus mg into Im by Bm plus not. This is normal plus. Let me erase. Mg by 2 into Id, I am writing it as Im plus M into D. You can see here Id I am writing it as Im plus Md by Dm. Okay. Now let us simplify this further. Fc is equals to mg into Im by Bm plus mg by 2 into Im by Bm plus md by Bm. Okay. Now let us go for the second slide. I'm writing Fc is equals to m into g Im by Bm plus mg by 2 into this is Im by Bm plus md by Bm. Now let us see what is Im by Bm. Im by Bm, which is equals to, you can see here, this is term Im by Bm, which is equals to tan alpha. Similarly, md by Bm, this is md by Bm, which is equals to tan beta. Substitute the terms here. Fc is equals to mg into, dear students, are you able to hear my voice? Hello? Dear students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, dear. Okay. I thought you were not able to hear my voice. Fc is equals to mg into Im by Bm, we can write it as tan alpha plus, because the difference between capital M and small m. Capital M is for the weight of the central load, small m is the weight of the ball or mass of the ball, and I can write it as tan alpha plus tan beta. Now divide the total equation by tan alpha. Divide the above equation by tan alpha. I can write like this: Fc by tan alpha which is equals to m into g plus capital Mg by 2 into tan alpha by tan alpha, I'm getting 1 plus tan beta by tan alpha. And I can take that term tan beta by tan alpha is equals to q. I want to replace that term, that's total term tan beta by tan alpha as the q. And we know that what is tan alpha from the above diagram. I will show you again. So from this, what is tan alpha here? So take PB and let us take this as AX. From the triangle PBX. From triangle PBX, tan alpha is equals to R by H. Okay. So now I can write it as R by H. Now what I can write here, Fc into, and I can write Fc as mr omega square. Okay, I'm writing Fc as again mr omega square, and tan alpha is equals to R by H, which is equals to m into g plus mg by 2 into 1 plus q. So this RR will go away. So left side I'm having m omega square into h. On the left side I'm having the term as and what about the right side I'm having mg plus mg by 2 into 1 plus q. Right side I'm having mg plus mg by 2 into 1 plus q. Now we want relationship between speed and height. I'm keeping h in the left hand side as this h is equals to. Can anyone solve parallel to me? How you can write this? Keep mg. Just now this is capital mg. 2 into 1 plus q. M into 1 by omega square. Okay. So this is the equation we are getting. Mg. Now you can do one thing. Take g outside. H is equals to m plus m by 2 into 1 plus q by m into g by omega square. Now what I am saying, if q is equals to 1, when q is equals to 1, then tan alpha is equals to tan beta. In that case, you are getting q is equals to 1. Now what the equation will become? In that case, what the equation will become? H is equals to m plus capital M by m into g by omega square. This is the relationship between height and speed of the governor. Or still you can write, how you can write, replace g as 9.81, omega as 2 pi n by 60. Okay, now keep g is equals to 9.81 and omega is equals to 2 pi n by 60. Next slide I would like to do. You are getting the equation as here. Please, sir. Yeah. So omega I'm keeping it as 2 pi n by 60 whole square. Now solve and give this equation, how we are getting, how much you are getting. H is equals to finally small m capital M by m into 985 or 895? 895, right? Write it as 895 by n square. So this equation holds good when friction is not considered. This is the relationship between height and speed of a governor if friction is not considered, if friction force is not considered. Okay. If friction is not considered. Now friction force is considered, what is the equation? If friction force is considered, in that case the equation will come as H is equals to small m plus capital M by m, and I am writing plus or minus m into 895 by n square. So we will discuss when plus friction we have to take and when minus we have to take. So I will tell when plus f and minus f we can see. So when the balls are moving away, you can see here, when the balls are moving away, how this will move? Tries to move upwards. How the sleeve will tries to when the balls are moving away means when the speed is high, centrifugal force is also high. Balls will move away. In that case, what will happen? How the sleeve will move? Sleeve will move. Sleeve moves upwards. In that case, where the friction is being acting? When the sleeve is moving upwards, friction will act downward direction. Friction will act downwards. So when the sleeve is moving upwards, frictional force is acting downwards. When it is acting downwards, you have to take friction as minus. Similarly, next case we are having. So in that case, friction is moving downwards means we have to take here minus F we have to take. Second case, sleeve is moving downwards. How the friction force will act? The sleeve is moving downwards means friction will act in upward direction. So when the friction is acting upward direction, we have to take plus symbol. Okay. When the sleeve is moving downwards, take frictional force as the plus. When the sleeve is moving upwards, take the friction force as the minus. When the sleeve is moving upward, friction is downwards, centrifugal force is high. In that case, what is the centrifugal force? Centrifugal force decreases and speed of the governor also decreases. When the speed is decreasing, sleeve is moving downwards. In that case, the friction you have to take it as a positive value. When the sleeve is moving upwards, in that case, you have to take the friction value as the negative value. That you have to remember. Okay. That is what I am saying. Plus or minus here. Plus F and minus F that depend upon the motion of the sleeve. Depend on motion of sleeve means whether the sleeve is moving upward direction or downward direction. I'm saying I am explaining again. When the sleeve moves upwards, what will happen? Centrifugal force increases. Speed of the governor increases. In that case, frictional force will act downwards. Means you have to take the negative sign. Second condition. Sleeve is moving downwards. Centrifugal force decreases. Speed of the governor also decreases. In that case, where the friction is acting, the sleeve is moving downwards, friction force will act opposite to the motion of the sleeve. Means friction force is acting upward direction. In that case, you have to take friction as the positive sign. Here you have to take friction as the negative sign. Okay. That is how we have to take positive and negative. So this gives the relationship between the speed and height of a governor. When you consider the friction, now this is the equation when you neglect the frictional force. So with this I will wind up here. Next I will continue the problems on the Porter governor. This is the relationship between speed and height of a. Okay. So this is what we have done. We have derived the total equation. Tomorrow I will derive the equation. This is instantaneous center method I have derived right now. Tomorrow I would like to derive next method. What is the next method? By resolutioning the forces that I am not having here. Now you can see the final equations here. The relationship between the speed and height of a governor. N square is equals to small m is the mass of the ball, capital M is the load acting on the sleeve. Means small m plus capital M by m into 895 by h. N square is taking outside. Okay, this is without the friction. Now you can see here. When we consider the friction, mg plus or minus f we have written. Okay, into 1 plus q. This is without friction. And we are not considering tan alpha is equals to tan beta here. If tan alpha is equals to tan beta, this equation we are getting m plus m by m into g by omega square. Again, g by omega square is nothing but 895 by n square. Okay. With this, I will wind up. Still, if you are having any doubts, please ask me. 5 more minutes is there. So with this, I will stop my presentation. I'll go to the next class tomorrow.